and welcome to Youth Factor, the show that makes the Bible fun again. I am your host, Jared Elrod. Let's jump into today's episode.
Do you think I'm crazy? I've done all this before.
Hold the door.
I got it.
Hold the door.
Got the door?
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Okay.
You got it? Okay, perfect.
Woo!
We're just gonna lay it flat, right?
Yeah, I think that'll
Okay.
work good. Ooh.
Ah. Oh. Here, I'll help you from this end.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonathan. This is going to help us so much at the rescue mission.
No problem, Tara. I'm really glad to help. I love all that you do for the rescue mission, and I'm really happy to be a part. You have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, I was just giving my TV to the rescue mission.
Really?
Yeah, I saw online that she needed a new one for the lobby, so I decided to give her mine.
Oh, so you gave her your old one and decided to keep that nice new HD TV, huh?
No, actually, I gave her the new one.
You gave her the new TV?
Yeah,
Why?
because I saw that she needed a new one for the lobby. I thought I told you that already.
Well, yeah, but that's not the way it works.
It's not how what works.
Well, charity. You see, when you get something new and you're trying to get rid of your old stuff, you just find your local charity and you donate it. But you don't give them the good stuff.
That's horrible.
No, that is just how it works. You see, when she was posting, she wasn't looking for the newest and the greatest and the best or whatever. She would have been happy with anything, shy of a piece of junk.
Look, the rescue mission helps those in need, and I consider my volunteer time and my donations to them to be as ministry. So when I saw that she posted about needing a new one and I felt led to give, I wanted to give, as unto the Lord.
Well, listen, it's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. I just think you could have gotten by with a lot less.
Okay, today's episode is titled Extravagant Worship, and why that really only narrows it down to like 100 Bible stories. We're going to be talking about the woman who broke the alabaster box and anointed Jesus' feet. And just like any other story, it helps if you know the context of the story. So if we back up a little bit, we see that before this whole thing happened, before Jesus goes to this cat named Simon's house, we start off with Jesus comes into a town, or he comes into town. That's really how most Bible stories in the New Testament start. And there is a mother who's on the way to a funeral for her son. This is like her only family left. She's now a widow. She just has no one to take care of her. And Jesus has just great compassion for her. Walks up to the casket and is like, hey, wake up, little buddy. And the son wakes up and is alive. So that happened. And pretty much as you could imagine, like, word got around. Like, they didn't have social media and news stations and all that kind of stuff, but pretty much everyone in the area knew that, hey, this Jesus guy just brought this other guy back to life. Oh, he was like sick on his deathbed? No, like he was in the casket on the way to bury him. And he's alive now. Okay, what happens next is kind of confusing. John the Baptist, you know, the guy who was kind of like the crazy wilderness guy who was out like literally in the wilderness baptizing people. That's why he got his name John the Baptist. And literally was he was like the last of the old prophets, and he was here to prepare the way for Jesus and proclaim the coming Messiah. Yeah, that John. Well, he's now in prison, and he's like super depressed, and he's now starting to question and doubt everything. I think he should have watched last week's episode. Anyways, so John starts just dwelling on the negative rather than praising, and what ends up happening is he begins to just doubt, and he actually sends his disciples to Jesus to be like, yo, are you like actually the Messiah? Or is there another one that we're supposed to kind of wait for? This is kind of like a big deal. Like, John literally proclaimed Jesus as the Messiah, and now he's sending his disciples. Now, one wonders if maybe this was like a subtle way of John being like, hey bro, maybe you want to get me out of here? Like, you want me to get me out of jail? What's going on? I don't know what's going on with John, but Jesus does. And rather than getting angry and being like, hello, yeah, that's kind of what this whole thing was about, or getting upset or depressed or any of these other reasons, like, oh man, like, he doesn't believe anymore. What Jesus does, he just like turns away and is like, and you get a miracle, and you get a miracle, and you get a miracle. And he just like does like this amazing demonstration of his power. And then like he then just turns to them and it's like, so what do you think? Okay, so that was pretty boss in and of itself. But because of that, now we got to break down the audience a little bit. Legit followers, curious bystanders. Clearly we have John's disciples there for this one particular portion. But then we also have what kind of catapults us into the next part of our story and kind of sets everything up is we have like a group of religious leaders who are kind of just following Jesus to kind of catch him in something and heckle him and kind of disprove him, right? And kind of show that he's not who he says he is. They're not really there to learn from him. So this demonstration, like first questioning of his authenticity as the Messiah, and then his demonstration of power leads to quite a few conversations. And because of this, a Pharisee, I think, but definitely a Jewish religious leader named Simon invites Jesus over for dinner. Now you may be thinking, hey, cool, this guy's interested in what Jesus has to say. He invited him over for dinner. I don't really think that's what's going on here, as we'll soon see in the story. All right, so Jesus gets to Simon's house and word gets out, and a local woman who's kind of known in the area as a prostitute finds out, hears about this, and she actually goes and fills this like super nice like Gucci bottle,
Gucci gang,
full of super expensive perfume that even James Charles wishes he had. Okay, so she just gets there and she doesn't even stop to act. Like, she just rolls right in, just past everyone, and goes right to Jesus, breaks this Gucci bottle open,
Gucci gang,
pours the perfume out on his feet. She starts crying. Her tears are like washing his feet. She's using her hair to wash and dry his feet and anoints them with this really nice perfume. And she's just like broken at this point and just super humble in front of him. And everyone's just kind of watching. Actually, they're not just watching. They're doing what a lot of people in their situation would do. They're totally judging her. And in fact, they're not just judging her, they're also judging Jesus. The Bible says that Simon is like sitting there going like, yeah, this guy's clearly not a true prophet, because he would know what kind of woman this is and he would, put her in her place. So yeah, mind you, the Bible literally describes her in this time as like broken and weeping. And this whole thing, the whole reason she did this was an act of worship. I know it was a little repetitive, but it was a really important point for you guys to get. I didn't want you to miss it, so I just kind of said it again a little bit differently and hoped you didn't notice. But then I pointed. What does Jesus do? He doesn't rebuke the woman. He doesn't get embarrassed. He doesn't act. What he does is he turns to Simon and rebukes the guy. First, for just having a sense of moral superiority, and then for just being a really bad host. How was Simon a bad host, you ask? Ah, great question. Let me count the ways. Okay, we're talking about like Jewish society. There were customs and procedures, especially when one as prestigious as like Simon, a Jewish religious leader, and then Jesus, who, if he is who he says, if he's not even if he's who he says he is, just if he's a prophet, there should be a great amount of honor. And even just a basic guest, there's just certain things you would do, like washing their feet, greeting with a kiss, things that Jesus mentions, and we hear, other Bible stories and whatnot. He doesn't do any of this. He just has Jesus in, and I assume it's probably like, well, he's obviously trying to find out if he's really a prophet or not. And he pretty much comes to his own conclusion when he sees that Jesus doesn't like kick this woman away like a dog, that he can't be a prophet. He's showing women dignity and respect. He can't be a religious leader. There's no way. Obviously, like the state of the, well, not really church, but the state of like the religious front at that time was not really in a good place. They had a little ways to go with equality and treating everyone like humans and image bearers of God. Okay, so how does this story end? Well, Jesus actually looks at her and tells her sins are forgiven, which really sets the religious leaders off on like a whole nother reason, but that's a whole nother story. She comes in as a sinner. She gets in the presence of Jesus, is broken, convicted of her sin, repents. Jesus forgives her, and she walks out with an entirely new life. Okay, there's a lot of good stuff to unpack here, but first,
let's play some games.
Hey, welcome to the game section on segment. Like, we need your help. We need a better name than the game segment, right?
I think the game segment's just fine. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
Leave
And
a
it's
comment
probably
what you think.
everyone's favorite segment is the game part.
I think they like it when it's just me in front of the green screen, just preaching the word of God. I think that's their favorite part.
It's probably my favorite part.
Leave a comment, like right now, leave a comment what you think the name of the game segment should be. Should we keep it the game segment? Should we like make it the game segment, but make it like a 1960s like the game segment, like you know they have the whole like
segment.
The Price is Right with Bob Barker, like something like funny, or should it just be like normal game segment, or should we come up with a completely different name? And if so, what should we name it? Because like we don't say them on air, but like every one of these segments has a name that we use internally for planning, except for this one. It's just the game segment, which is just really more of a description. But I don't know. Maybe it's good. So on today's game segment, it's like a random trivia.
So it's kind of the same as the one we did last week with Hayden, where we're gonna go
No.
back and forth.
Oh yes.
We're
The
gonna go
dynamics.
back and forth
Yes.
between a question, and then whoever gets the most right.
Wins.
What are we doing?
Yeah. We each have
How are
4.
we-
Yes.
Why do we have this
So
wheel?
okay, we'll get to that. He's getting excited about
I
what
wanna
horrible
spin the
things
wheel.
are going to
I
happen
wanna
to him.
spin the
No.
wheel.
No. I have it pre-calculated,
Oh.
so that way I only lands on the way I want it to. Oh man! And now I had it rigged, and now I'm just kidding. Teresa, that's for you. You accused me of cheating, so I was actually making fun of you just there, Teresa. Don't ever call me a cheater.
Thank you, Teresa, for your support. I greatly appreciate it. It's much needed.
I'm not a cheater. Just because I win all the time doesn't mean I cheat.
Well, you yourself said last week that you swayed public opinion against me.
That was literally the whole point of the game. The game was try to get people to vote for your song, and that was actually 2 weeks ago, by the way. Okay.
You said it last week, though.
True. You're right. Sorry. Scratch that. Reverse it. You are right. Okay. So the game itself not that fancy. It's just a generic trivia game like which president chopped down a cherry tree. That's not even a true story, by the way. But anyways, that whole thing. So, but the thing is, if you get the question wrong, you have to spin the wheel.
Ooh.
Now, you'll notice half of these say H. You'll also notice this little bowl of candies that start with an H.
So that means that every time I get an answer right and I get the answer
You have to get the answer wrong, and then you have a 50-50 chance
So I'm
of
telling you
getting
guys,
a kiss.
I'm going to want to
A
get
Hersheys
the answers wrong.
Chocolate
because
kiss.
I want to eat chocolate.
But the problem is you also have a 50-50 chance of getting one of these horrible consequences. So you'll notice on here, we have a few things. We have a little, I can't really see, but we have, I'll just keep spinning it. We have a little guy,
You're
which one's that
on
one?
I don't know what it looks like, an egg or something.
Okay, yes. Okay,
Which
I'm not
one's
doing
that?
that one first.
Pear?
Okay, we have, I'll just tell you what these
Oh,
are.
that is 26.2. That
Okay,
was my idea.
here's a few of them. Yes, so
'Cause I want him to do
26.2.
this.
26.2. If you get the question wrong and you spin the wheel and it lands on 26.2, does that number sound familiar to you guys? Give them a second to comment. Does that number sound
This
familiar?
is a trivia question, by the way.
Who knows what that number means? Okay, if you said marathon, you are correct.
Woo!
If either of us land on 26.2, we have to do a marathon.
Oh, that's not fun.
No, especially since it's like 90 million degrees outside right now.
Well, it didn't say when we had to do it. We could wait till the
Well-
dead of winter.
With this year. So yes, if you want to be fancy and join an actual, so those are kind of expensive, I think, and join an actual
The next time
marathon.
that you send me to the barn and then say,
No,
I forgot
that doesn't
something,
count. Jonathan's
I'll
like,
just keep
I've
going.
done a marathon over the last 2.5 months of all the errands I've run for you. That does not count. Like, it has to be an actual marathon. So now, whether you go out on your own and do it, or you register and do one
I
of the
take you
upcoming
with me?
marathons. No, if you get it, you're on your own. Now I'll drive next to you in the car. Okay, I might do
Somebody's gotta
that.
film it.
I might do that,
Oh,
yes,
it's
with
gotta
the
go.
camera out of the window, like driving one hand, camera out of the other hand, be like, "Go, Jonathan, go! You're only 2 miles in. Don't." Oh, he passed out. We're
You're
only
gonna
at
do
4
the
miles.
facing the giants. Don't quit! Don't
Yeah.
quit! Don't quit! So
And
what
then
else do we
if
have?
I get that one, I'm just gonna get a position as youth pastor somewhere else.
Okay, and then
Just
this one
kidding.
is like a circle. I don't know.
Okay, this one, but it's like an oval, right?
Just an
Okay,
oval, yeah.
this one we're still not doing that one because that one's one of the worst
then
ones.
we're also doing this is money. A money
Okay,
sign.
this one actually, honestly, the marathon's kind of like one of the least. Well, probably the second least. This one, if you get this one, You literally have to put your money where your mouth is. If you get the dollar sign, so if you get one wrong, you spin this and you get the dollar sign, you have to donate $100 to a charity of the other person's choosing.
I'd rather do that than run a marathon.
Yeah, that's true. If you could just pay $100
You know what I'd
and that.
rather do than both of those?
It's
The Hersheys Kiss.
Oh, well, I would rather win and have the glory of winning and not have to do any of that. But let's see. Now, what else do we have? What's this one? Oh, okay. This one it's supposed to be a dude's like spiky hair. You have, and it's like purple or whatever.
That's not the egg. That
No.
is a person with
Yes, you have to. If you do this one, you guys get to vote on the color, and the person who gets it has to dye their hair that color.
Oh, they have to vote on the color? Because I was
They
going to say,
pick the
I will
color.
dye my hair brown. I've wanted
No,
to do that forever.
no. First off, it would have to be a primary color, like blue, purple, red. That, but they get to pick. So if they say we want to see Jonathan in brown hair, whatever. If they want to
You
be
do want to
boring,
see me in brown hair.
but you can't do your goatee. So you'll be like normal goatee and dark brown hair would be kind of funny actually.
I guess it might, because mine is like red.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So then we have we already did the marathon.
And then there's an oval, so that means if I get that, then I get to throw an egg at you, or do you throw an egg at me?
No, we're gonna do that one last. That one's pretty
Oh.
bad. This one actually kind of looks like it. It's a razor. So we both have facial hair and we both have quarantine hair. That's pretty decent. So if you get this one, goodbye quarantine hair and facial hair.
We're gonna get rid of this stuff. up
Shave
here.
your head, shave your beard, or goatee. Any whatever facial hair you
Oh,
have.
so you have absolutely no facial hair?
No facial hair. Well, I mean, you don't have to use like a razor, but like buzzers.
But you have to
Yes.
have no hair.
Yes, you have to look like Cody right now.
Oh boy.
Because you just like if you guys just saw the kids' church video today, I think, unless he did the other one. If my timing, oh yeah, you would have seen he has plenty of time. You would have seen Cody in kids' church if you watch kids' church. He completely shaved everything, kind of like that. You take the clippers and you gotta buzz it. You don't have to use a razor, but no hair, no beard. Goodbye quarantine facial hair, basically, or head hair all around. No, not your eyebrows. That'd be too much. Okay, that's that one. So
You don't wanna look like
I
the
kind of
ancient
want you to
Marvel.
get that one, so people are like, "Are you and Cody twins? What's going on?"
I think we do look
And then-
somewhere.
And then the egg one. This one, guys. This one's pretty bad. Have you guys ever heard of a balut? You hadn't.
Yes.
No, you
Yes,
hadn't.
I've heard of a balloon.
As of 12 minutes ago. So a
Actually, it was
balut.
15.
Okay, whatever. A balut is.
It's
this-
a balloon
No,
that you get
no,
to pop
no.
and confetti comes out.
I wish.
A
I would actually even
balloon.
rather eat the confetti than a balut. So the balut is a partially formed duck egg. It's very popular in the Philippines. And what they do is like a vendor goes around, like literally, like, you know how we have the ice cream truck go around, or like in my 209 peeps in Central California, we have we'd have like the different, like, what are those little things? Brandon, help me out with this. What are those? The little bag of the little pinwheel things, and they put the hot sauce in them. You buy them. They have that guy. Well, in the Philippines, they have a guy go around and he sells balutes, and you buy them, and they're these partially but not completely developed duck eggs, and you crack the top, and you slurp the juice and the
my
bird and
gosh.
everything, bones and beak and all. You slurp it down
Why?
and swallow it.
You're eating a half-developed animal.
Yeah, and all
That
the
is murder.
embryonic juice. Well, it's already dead. And
Well,
so
now
is a
it
hamburger.
is.
So is a hamburger is murder.
Now it is. It wasn't before.
Jonathan is a vegetarian. So that's that one. And did we cover all of them?
Italian.
I think we covered all of them, right? Oh, what is this one? There's an empty square here. I know what we'll do. There's an empty yellow square.
That
If you
means
land on
spin
that
again.
one, no, it doesn't mean spin again. That means audience choice. So if we land on this empty, or wait, was that supposed to be the dollar sign? No, there's a dollar sign. So if it lands on the empty one, you guys get to pick our fates. That wasn't on purpose.
Do I get to eat a candy kiss right now?
No, you have to lose and then escape the clutches of this terrible wheel. So are you ready?
Wait, but I have a question though, because are we gonna spin this wheel and we have to, like, as many times as we lose, we might have to do like
Mhm.
all of them.
Yes. So
We
if
might
you
have
lose,
to run a marathon, dye our hair, and then shave it, or
Yeah.
do we shave it and then dye it when it's come back? I don't know how that works.
What you have to
And
do
then
is
eat
if
a
you get
balloon.
those, you have to shave it, and you have to get a tattoo on your head.
Now we have to eat a balloon or whatever.
A Balu, which they don't like sell those, so we'll have to like
And
figure out
give
how to make those.
$100 to charity.
Yeah.
We could possibly have to do all 5.
No, because there's only 4 questions.
Oh, good.
Each.
So I won't have to run a marathon.
You won't have. Really? That's the one you picked? I
wouldn't want to eat the balloon.
No, that would be the blue would be like my number one to get rid of. And normally I would say like, I wouldn't want to have to give $100, but you're right. You make a good point.
It's not bad.
And I would be
if
picking
you're
the
giving to a
charity
good charity.
because it's the other one picks the charity. So it's not like I'm going to pick something bad because normally the whole
You
point
would
of
say give $100 to Youth Factor. That's what
no,
you would
actually
say.
I would. I'll say right now. This is what it'd be for me. If you get it, it's going to be CareNet because the director of CareNet was in today. Now, not today as in for you guys. Today when we recorded this, Pastor Susie and Pastor Mike had the director of CareNet in for the little interview section, and it was really good. Like to hear his story and to hear the story of how they started CareNet here. And I grew up with lots of family members involved, and ours was called Alpha. First, it was called Alpha Pregnancy Crisis, and then they eventually changed the word crisis to Help Center because they didn't want a pregnancy to be associated with as a crisis. And so I already kind of had that in like my family heritage, and then like hearing, and his story was really good. So I'm going to say if you get the $100 one, it's going to be the CareNet. So do you have a preference for a charity that I have to shell out clam to if I get it?
I'm thinking. I mean, right off the top of my head, the one that I really like is called Exodus Cry, and it's a
Never heard of
ministry.
it.
Well, I'm about to tell you.
I know. I'm setting you up to tell me.
It's a ministry that one of the directors of the International House of Prayer in Kansas City, he actually started.
Wait, so I have to eat $100 worth of pancakes for IHOP?
You would be giving $100 to this ministry that actually rescues women from human trafficking, and actually, like, they make safe houses and they sponsor research.
Hey, how
and all
progressive
that
of us. We both pick like a women's rights, women's health thing. Like,
it's the first thing that came to
give us a
mind.
pat on the back. Aren't
know,
we awesome guys?
You know what? I also
I just know
I
by
also
saying
love,
that.
on the opposite side, just as recently, I have heard of this ministry forever, but I just less than a year ago started sponsoring a child through compassion, and I'm a
we've done
big
that.
fan because they do a great job at keeping you up to date with what's actually happening in your child's life that you're supporting, sending you new pictures and all that. And it's so cool.
I just had a terrible thought because like we've done that in the past too, and you can do the letters and all that. What if your child dies? Like, how do they handle that from a logistic point of view?
We're gonna cut this part out.
No, I'm just thinking that like if I'm the director of this program, like, and you're supposed to, like, it's very involved. A lot of times people have even like they've met up in person. A lot of times
the thing is, if you sponsor them, they shouldn't die because they will probably die
but
if you do not
things
sponsor
happen.
them.
Civil wars break out. There's stuff happen, just natural disasters. So there's story like they get really involved. There's stories of like, oh, I as a parent sponsor a child and my kids, and then like my kid grows up and then they go on a missions trip and they meet and they actually marry. Like there's like crazy stories of how involved families have gotten with this thing. Like I'm just interested now. I'm not trying to be like crude or anything, but like I'm just wondering like how do they, because they're not going to send you a letter, oh, we're sorry your child died, here's 3 more, pick one. Like how do they handle that? That's interesting.
That is really interesting.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
The thoughts that you think, they are so surprising sometimes. I'm like, where do you come up with this stuff?
I think of a lot. Yes, I think of a lot of things. Okay, so
I'm never
we're
gonna let
start.
someone tell me that I'm an overthinker again.
You're like, I know this guy.
I have officially been overthought.
I know this guy.
I've been overthought.
Okay, for the first one, this is your question.
All right.
It is, who was the soul? Again, these are just random trivia from like.
That he knows all the answers to because he's already looked through them and I know none of them.
No.
That's true.
No, I haven't. I haven't looked through all of them. I know the answer to this one because this is your question. But I can honestly tell you when I was putting these in, it was actually, you got here when I was putting them in. I was falling asleep. And a couple times.
So when you fall asleep, your brain actually retains the last thing it's going to go.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyways, that is not the case. You and Teresa are coming up with this whole cheating thing. Like, just because you keep losing to me in challenges doesn't mean you can accuse me of being a cheater. That's not how it works. Okay, no, I do not know all the answers for these because I didn't look at the answers. I have read some of the questions, and some of them I know, and some of them I completely don't know. One of them I did see the answer to because it was in the sample. Let me finish. It was in when I was looking at the games to get a game. It was the example slides. I already told you that one, so we both know the answer to that
The
one.
Abraham Lincoln one.
No, I made that one up. It was the South. The answer was South Dakota. Remember how I said I said it could have been this one. But it's not South Dakota.
I don't
and it was,
remember you telling me.
I told you this a couple hours ago, but you're also exhausted. So, okay, let's jump into this. Who was the sole surviving protagonist in Lord of the Flies? Is it A, Piggy, C, Simon, B, Jack, or D, Ralph?
Now, why did you just read that ACBD?
Because I'm
You
an
know the
American.
alphabet?
I'm an American, and we read left to right, and you drop down, and you read left to right.
If you're an American, you do it alphabetically.
But it's not in
A, B,
alphabetical
D.
order. Look, it's A, C, B, D.
Oh, well.
That's how you read literature. And I'm not a manga fan, so I'm not reading it right to left.
So I literally have no idea what Lord of the Flies is.
It's a book. I'll give you that hint. And it's been adapted
Are you
in
serious?
movies. Yeah.
It's a book?
Yeah.
How'd you know?
Because I actually read stuff.
I have no idea what Lord of the Flies is, except that it's a book, and that has been
And
made
there's
into a
movies.
movie. And I'm gonna pick because it's got a Lord of the Flies kind of has a Lord of the Rings sound. So
Nothing at all related.
Well, I'm just saying in my mind.
Except for there's violence.
Like I can't
involved.
pick Piggy or Jack because they sound too American, I guess, for this Lord of the Flies book.
Who have you ever met
I don't
named
know.
Piggy? When have you ever met an American named Piggy?
I mean,
Oh, I grew up with a kid named Piggy down the street back in 3rd grade, so it can't be Piggy. That's too
It's a
American.
nickname.
And why could the book not be an American name? Your
I
logic.
just feel like Lord of the Flies is some
Okay,
sort of
who do you pick? Who do you pick?
mystical something or other. So I'm going for Simon. Your face is
D,
telling me
Ralph.
that I lost.
You did. It's Ralph. Now let me.
See, Ralph, that does
Listen.
sound like a Lord of the Rings name.
It has nothing to do with the road. It's about some boys who get shipwrecked on an island and there's no adult supervision, and it's like what would
so
happen?
we're gonna go with Jack.
It's Ralph. You have to spin the wheel. Spin
Oh.
it. All right. What is it? What'd you get?
Please do not tell me I got the Balu. I'm gonna run out of here and I'm gonna. Wow.
Oh, you definitely have to eat something, but it's a Hershey's Kiss.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice. I guess losing can sometimes have its rewards.
If you're gonna lose,
You might as well
losing
be
for
eating
chocolate
Hershey.
is a good way to do it. Okay.
Awesome.
All right,
I can't
my
wait till
question.
You have to eat one of these.
I'm not
Maybe
gonna
you'll
lose.
have to eat a Balu.
I'm not gonna lose.
Maybe you'll have to eat a Balu.
If I eat a Balu, it's gonna be watch Pastor Jared puke a Balu. Fill in the blank. This is mine. Fill in the blank of this novel title. Blank of Wrath.
That is so easy. Come on, that's not fair.
Just because you.
It's a watermelon of wrath. We all know that.
Okay, listen. It's a book just like the other one. You just happen to know this one. Okay.
I know the veggie.
Strawberries of Wrath. Peaches. Yes, and I'm still reading it like it's a novel. Peaches of Wrath. Bananas of Wrath. Or Grapes of Wrath.
You know how it goes. We are the bananas of wrath.
I don't know what song you're talking about,
The grapes.
but I do know that
Oh,
this
isn't
song is called, or this song. Now you got me saying song. I do know that this.
I think I just said the answer. I don't hope you didn't hear.
No, I already know. It's grapes.
That was too easy.
Like I don't even have to check the answer. I'm even gonna check the answer, but like Grapes of Wrath. It's also a book. Yep, Grapes of Wrath. What? This is yours. What musical takes place during the French Revolution? A. Phantom of the Opera. I'm just gonna change these letters. I don't know. I'm not. C. Wicked. B. I have a hard time pronouncing this one, but it's that. No, it's not. It's Les Miserables or something like that. It's the one with Hugh Jackman. No, it's us. Or D. Annie. Okay, I'm going to read that again because I, at this point, don't even know what the question was because we were goofing off. What musical takes place during the French Revolution? A. Phantom of the Opera. C. Wicked. B. Les Miserables, I think. But I have a terrible French accent. Or D. Annie.
All I gotta say is that the French Revolution was wicked. So, C. Wicked.
Or you could have gone, process elimination. B is the only one that has a French name.
Well, I was gonna go with Les Miserables first.
Oh my gosh, Jonathan. You're so uncultured. Then again, I can't pronounce it either.
We're
so.
both like latte.
I know what it is. I can hear it in my head. Like it's like, you know, if it's like sometimes there's that word like you can hear it, you just can't quite say it right.
The only thing I can say in French is le plume sur la table.
Okay, let's look at what the answer is. I pretty much can guarantee you it's not the 2012 or 2000. No, it's more than that. But whatever it is, from Wicked, it is not that. It is. Now I'm confused. Where am I?
I knew it was grapes.
I went backwards to the grapes one. Musical. Okay, here we go. It is. Which musical takes place during the French Revolution? You said C, Wicked. The answer was B, The Unpronounceable by Us.
So why did you try to make me say it if you knew it was right?
Because you'd already given your official answer, and I was telling you, like, you literally could have.
I thought you were trying to get me to sway my
No,
answer.
you had already given your answer.
I wasn't gonna go.
So I
for
was
it
telling
because
you,
were trying
Jonathan.
To sway me.
Well, it didn't matter because at that point you'd already given your answer. So I'm telling you, like, you, because I don't technically know the answer, but to me, I thought it was obvious because it takes place during the French Revolution, and it's the only one with a French name. Well, okay. Also, I know.
Well, also, how do you pronounce D? Is it Annie or is it Anye or?
It's Annie. You don't know it. Okay. I also know the other three musicals, so I kind of knew it was that one just because it's French name and it's the only one I don't know. I know what Wicked is. I know what Phantom Opera is. I know what Annie is.
Is it bad that however you say it, it might be the only one that I actually know, and I don't even know what it's about. I just remember learning about it in history class. That's all. I've never seen any of
You
them.
clearly didn't take it too well. So that's the thing that's spin. Don't look at these. You're not getting one of these. You're shaving your head or you're giving $100 or something.
I'm just gonna pray first.
What is it? Jonathan, you haven't even seen it yet. You're already grabbing a chocolate. You really think you're that lucky?
Well, I hope it's a chocolate and not that I have to run.
You are that lucky.
Oh,
Eat the
yes.
stupid chocolate. You know what?
It's gonna...
I'm gonna eat a chocolate. No.
No, you can't have one. It's a
You had two that
chocolate.
one time. How are you losing and I'm winning, but you're still like ending up
You want
doing better?
chocolate?
No, I need to earn it not earn it. I need to luck into it. Which of these artists famously cut off their ear? A. Van Gogh, C. Monet, B. Andy Warhol, or D. Picasso. Well, I think we pretty much all know the answer to that one. Do you know this one?
I do.
You do? Well, let's say.
Well, all I know is that if he cut off his ear, he's gonna be going, "Goo! Goo!"
If you don't get that joke, it's because the answer is A. Van Gogh.
Do that again.
Which kind of looks like goo. But it's like, okay, Monet isn't he a musician or is he an actual artist?
I don't know.
Monet. Oh yeah, Monet. Sorry, I'm just being dumb. Guys, we've had a long
He
day.
would have had to pay a lot of Monet to get his ear put back on.
No, it's Monet. I was reading Monet because isn't there a composer named Monet or something like that? Or am I making this up?
Is it Mozart you're thinking of?
No, I'm not thinking of Mozart. So Monet, I actually don't know what kind of artist Monet is. Andy Warhol is not. He's like more contemporary compared to the rest of
like
these.
A pop artist.
And then Picasso, but it's Van Gogh. So, and if I didn't know that from being an art student, I would know that from Doctor Who, because they have a whole episode where they go back and they anyways. So.
Oh, okay. And he cut off his ear in the episode?
Not in the episode, no. But they show him because Van Gogh is tragic. Yes, and it's the answer. I was right. The answer is not the answer in the episode because he's kind of tragic in the fact that like he died, kind of sucking basically. His stuff didn't become like awesome until later. So in the episode, they actually take him to a museum in the future where there's a whole Van Gogh exhibit, and he gets to see all these people like admiring his art, and so then the whole idea is he gets to go back and he can like die happy. But anyways, it was Van Gogh. He was a very troubled man.
Cutting off his ear?
No, not cutting off his ear. He cut off his ear because he wanted to see if he could still hear out of it if he cut his ear off. Next question: how many books are in the Harry Potter series? Now I know
Too many.
I know you've read this series like 10 times, 12 times, 15 times, right?
You know what you said to me last week about the movies and the books that I've never read. I don't.
Well,
watch
you
Harry
prove
Potter.
that you clearly aren't reading like regular stuff by. Well, I guess those are
I guess
older.
I
This is more
haven't
modern.
seen Doctor Who and Van Gogh.
Okay. Stop.
How many books are in the Harry Potter series? I know there's more
It's
than
A3,
Oh, you're gonna give me the option.
C7. How many of you out there is it driving you crazy that I'm going A, C, B, D? I really
It
want.
really bothers me. I feel like
Like people are actually, if they were voting like we used to do, people would actually be voting against me right now for you just on the way I'm reading these answers.
you're agreeing with my first comment. Why did you say it that way?
But you understand what I'm talking about, right? When you
This is
read
what
it,
we
that's
call
how you
shuffle.
read. Like no one reads that like here and then here and then here and then here.
Well, it depends because if you have like
I
a
feel like they
lined
put
paper,
They
you
put
will
this
read
together.
This column and then this column. If you're reading a textbook, yeah.
Okay,
you
but
read
there's
this
no
column
line
and
down the
this
middle. Okay, whatever, maybe, but
It's just
anyways.
invisible
And
line.
isn't like
Understood.
isn't like whose line is it? Not whose line. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Doesn't it go A B C D? Isn't that how it goes? A B C D.
Yeah, I
So
think
they
so.
messed it up when they did this game. So I'm technically reading it right. They just wrote it wrong. I'm fixing it for you guys. And so this is
The
what's
reason that you're reading it wrong is the reason why I'm getting all the wrong answers.
Yeah,
because
okay,
I can't
here we go.
comprehend
Here
the
we go.
answers right.
But this is what's
I
gonna be
would say
interesting.
B, but instead I'm saying C because of the way that you're reading it.
It'll be interesting to see, and I apologize, like if anyone has like real OCD, I'm using like
No,
the
CDO.
slang. This slang of like like just not literally OCD. Like I know the whole Rhett and Link thing. Some people were offended because they're like that's not how it is, and I really do have it. But the pop whatever version of it of like how people just have to straighten things, that kind of thing. That version of not real OCD. Like it'd be interesting what version the viewers have because they'll be seeing these slides because we'll come in. It'll be interesting to see which ones it's driving them crazy that I'm going A, C, B, D, and which ones agree with me and say no, you have to read from left to right and drop down. So it'll be interesting
Well,
to
I
see
see
in the
why
comments.
you're doing it the way you are.
Yeah, 'cause
I
if
just
you
think
look at
that
it, it
we
makes
know
sense.
the alphabet, so and technically you should be saying how many books are in the Harry Potter series: 3, 6, 7, 8. Not even 3, 7, 8, and 6.
Again, that
That's
comes down to whoever put this together.
But you should be reading it right.
No, I am reading it right.
Alright,
Okay.
so my answer, I'm gonna go with 8 because I have no idea.
I am pretty sure you're wrong. I'm pretty sure it's 7. Oh, and I would have been right. It's 7. So, buddy, guess what that means?
Spin
That
wheel.
What is that from? Is that?
Dude Perfect.
Oh, okay.
It was actually the wheel unfortunate, which is
Yeah,
very
that's what I was
close to
gonna say.
this.
Okay, spin it. Let me see.
Chocolate, right? Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate.
Ah, it
chocolate.
is chocolate.
Ah, chocolate. Yeah. This is-
You are gonna
I'm
be so
excited.
fat. That's also a quote. I think that's from Gilmore Girls.
I'm so excited. I want to lose the next. Well, then again, I don't know if I'm.
No,
gonna
because
get
what
run
if
a
you
marathon.
get something bad? Well, then you can eat as much
Do a
chocolate as you
prayer
want.
fast.
If you have to run the marathon, you can eat the rest of this. That's the deal.
Okay.
You can take them home and eat them all if you get the marathon. Where is the Mona Lisa displayed? A,
Rome.
Dublin, Ireland.
Well, if it were in
B.
Dublin, there'd be 2 of them.
I'm doing it the right way for you this time. B, or the wrong way, depending on perspective. B, Rome, Italy. I thought it was Rome, New York.
I've never seen it, and
What's
I've lived
Rome,
here all my
Italy?
life.
Just kidding. Rome, Italy. C, Berlin, Germany. Or D, Paris, France. Well, I think it would be really funny, like if it was Dublin, Ireland, and pretty much right away you can take out A and C. Like it's not gonna be Dublin, Ireland, or Berlin, Germany, unless it's like on one of those on display tour things. So it really takes it down to Rome, Italy, and Paris, France. And I'm going to go with Paris, France because it's the right answer.
Why did you go with that and not Rome, Italy? Because Rome is also like Renaissance.
Yeah, I
and
know,
that
I
kind of
know.
stuff.
But
Ah,
the French answer was right once already. So
that's true. It's always French.
Go with the French, right? They can't win a war, but they will get everything else, right?
Those miserables. Alright, my last one. Let's hope that I don't have to run a marathon this time. Let's hope I can eat a little more chocolate.
All right. In what novel is Holden Caulfield? I think, Caulfield, the main character.
How am I supposed to know? I don't read.
You don't read? You don't read? It's A, Catcher in the Rye.
I don't read like historical fiction or whatever this is. It's a novel, so historical fiction. I'm guessing. I don't read that.
It's the
Fiction of
answers
any
are
kind.
A, Catcher in the Rye, C, Fight Club, B, Deliverance, or D, 1984. I'll tell you what, buddy. I'll take this one for you. Okay? I don't know it either. How about that? Because
So I feel like there's a good chance that you will not get it since you don't know the answer.
but I didn't know a couple of these, and I'm
And
just
I've already
really good
had
at it.
enough chocolate, and I don't want to run.
This is
a
how
marathon.
confident I am that I can beat you in any game, in any circumstance, without cheating. For those of you who say I cheat, it's really just you and Teresa, because you guys, I'm pretty sure, ganged up on me just to be funny. I will take this one for you, okay? Plus, if I'm taking, so it's one of two things.
You're
I'm
gonna run a
either
marathon.
no, because look, I'm
You're
either
gonna
going
run a
to
marathon.
take it and under my own ability, I'm going to win. Because I'm winning all, I've literally gotten every single one of them right. Even because you do the process of elimination,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
And I've done that on like half of mine. Or if I somehow pick up your
Well,
losing
I know the
streak,
answer,
I'm just going to
too.
get a chocolate.
I know the answer because it asked about what novel Mr. Cauliflower is the main character. And so it's
Caulfield.
obviously going to be Catcher in the Rye since they're
Oh
both
my gosh.
healthy foods.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to process elimination.
Well,
this.
I just gotta ask, what happens if you get it right? Do I get the penalty, or if
No,
you
I'll
it-
get the penalty. I'll
if you
spin
get
the
it
wheel
wrong?
for you.
If you get
I'm
it
not
right,
going to
I
get it
don't
wrong.
Get a penalty.
I'm not going to get it wrong.
So literally, I do not lose.
No, I'm taking this
anything.
one for you.
And
I'm
I've already
taking this one
lost.
for you.
I've gotten 3 wrong.
Yeah, you
so
got it all
I
wrong.
already lost.
Like,
so
I
I
literally-
got nothing to lose.
And the thing is, clearly the stupid wheel doesn't work anyways. It's been an H for every single one. So, oh no, I'm going to have to eat a chocolate. But I'm not going to get it wrong. I've gotten every one of these
Okay.
right. And what novel is Holden Caulfield? I think it's Caulfield. The main character. Okay, first off, Catcher in the Rye. I don't know. We'll come back to that one. C, Fight Club. That's like a 1990-something movie.
So you're gonna pick 1984.
D, 1984 is... Oh, actually, crap. That is that's a book. I was thinking that was... Oh, I was like, oh, that's another book, so I could eliminate that one. I may have got myself in a little deeper than I thought. B, Deliverance. Okay. Because that's also based on a book. I got over cocky on this one, Jonathan.
How do you know these?
Can I give this
books?
one back to you? Can I give it back
Have
to
you
you?
read all these?
No, but like, okay, this one's not a book. Fight Club, as far as I know, is it a book? It doesn't matter. It's modern. It's very new.
Okay.
So, but
And
again, that
obviously
doesn't
Holden
matter.
Caulfield sounds like a really old thing, so it couldn't be 1984.
Okay, Jonathan, I looked at this and I made some wrong assumptions. Can I give this back to you?
No. I literally.
Okay,
do
this
not
is
know
my
the
thought
answer.
process. I was being a little cocky here and a little arrogant. I literally looked at this and was like, okay, Fight Club, that's a movie. 1984, that's
Is
that
there
one
like
book.
50-50
Deliverance
call
is
the
like a movie.
audience or anything?
No, because
like
we're
that?
not alive anymore. Well, we
Oh.
are, but it doesn't matter. We're not. So
So we should just stop it here and come back next week, having seen their answers, and then I can.
no,
pick.
because I couldn't have the self-control and not look it up.
Uh,
I really got in over my head on this. I really thought I had this figured out by process of elimination, and as I was explaining it to the camera, I realized I didn't have a clue what I'm talking about. So I'm going to have to completely guess. So I'm going to guess... Okay, I'm going to have to say, I know it's not Fight Club. I'm pretty sure it's not Deliverance. I thought I knew it wasn't 1984, and I didn't know... I mean, I know...
so it is Catcher in the Rye.
Well, I don't know, because that's what I was going to say, because I don't know, I'm not super familiar with it, but I know what it is.
Holden Caulfield and Catcher in the Rye, they have like a similar feel.
I think
to
it's
them.
1984
I don't know why
because
I'm helping you. I'm gonna shut up.
I think
You
it's
figure it out.
1984, and originally I was thinking it wasn't. I thought I could eliminate all 3 of those, so I think I'm back on track. I thought I could eliminate 1984 because that is a book of, actually, it's kind of starting to sound kind of similar to our lives now, to be honest. And I've actually thought of that recently. And in high school, we had to either read 1984 or...
Oh, that's how you read it in high school.
No, I didn't actually read it. I did the other one. It was either 1984 or what's the other one that's like very similar. And I did the other one. But I did a couple years ago start listening to the audiobook, and I didn't get very far into it because I had like a free subscription, and then anyways, long story short. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking back to like I read or listened to the first few chapters. I think that's the main character, or at least it sounds like it would
So
be.
which one are you going for? What's your
I'm gonna
final
go
answer?
D, 1984.
I'm gonna do the whole-
Also, I don't
That's
believe
your
in
final
luck.
answer.
I don't believe it. Yes, I
And
don't
we're
believe
gonna
in
wait
luck.
for like 10 seconds to make the sweat drip down.
Okay,
and,
wait. Before we do that, though, I don't believe in luck, but I was born in 1984.
Oh.
So if nothing else, I
So
gotta
did
go
you
back.
know Holden Caulfield? Did you grow up with him?
I can't blame you because that's about like my whole piggy living down the street thing. Okay, you gonna ask me?
You
do
rub
the
off
whole-
on each other after a little bit of time.
Are you gonna ask me if it's my final answer?
Is it your final answer? This is the last
I went the wrong
question,
way.
So.
Yeah, it's my final answer. I'm
Okay,
gonna go
let's
D.
see.
1984. What do you guys think? Post right now in the comments if I'm right or wrong, or you don't know.
You're always right.
I know I've gotten every single one of these right, so I'm totally confident that
And here we go. The answer is Catcher in the Rye.
you were right.
I was right. I should have had that.
Oh.
You should have given me that question. I got it right.
You did, but you also guessed.
I guessed. I had no idea. Guess what? You're gonna have to spin the wheel, buddy.
I swear, if you did this 3 times and get a chocolate, and I don't,
Can you Can I turn this toward
Yeah,
me and
no,
you
yeah,
spin it?
I'm gonna
You're
turn it.
No. You turn it toward me so you can't see what it is after you spin it, and then I can tell you what it is. Is that acceptable?
No,
I want to know. I really am hoping.
Okay, we
he's
can
got-
both see it. The audience can't
He's
see
got to
it yet.
do something.
Listen, the audience can't see it. You ready?
Because you're on a diet. You can't eat chocolate.
I'm not dying. What are you talking about? Okay.
Here we go, guys.
I'm so nervous.
Did you
Okay.
pray?
No.
You're not gonna pray? Okay.
No. Because what if I pray and God's like, well, I want you to give $100 to Jonathan's charity? You ready?
Yes.
Oh. I don't know if the fact that you've gotten a chocolate every single time goes well for me or means I'm basically doomed right now.
No, it means all the chocolates are eaten.
No. Let me see. Can I erase one of these? Can I pick one to erase?
Yes. I'll let you erase one.
Okay,
of
I'm
the candy kisses.
I'm just gonna get rid of the Balu. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. It's fine. I'm telling you right now, though, I'm not eating it. I will throw up trying if we do it. Plus, you know what I didn't think of when I was doing this? I don't even know how we would get that. I guess we'd have to, literally...
We would have to go on a missions trip.
That's too
And
far.
I would like that.
People
See,
want
it's
instant
all
gratification.
good stuff in the long
Okay,
run.
I'm gonna do it.
It's either
I'm gonna do
26
it.
for your health or Balu, meaning we go on a missions trip or we give money to a charity. The only one I don't know about is shave your head. Is that the only one? I mean, it'd be good for your family.
Yeah, my wife would like it. But the dye your hair, though, I don't think Pastor will let me keep it very long because I talked to him about a challenge with the youth, and I was like, oh, and if they get such and such, this is right before the pandemic, and I was like, if we get such and such students, I'll dye my hair, my beard. I think I said pink. I can't remember what I said. And he was like, for 1 week, right? And I was like, oh, I guess. So I was like, I don't think he
Well,
would.
you
want
would shave it off after you.
I would-
dyed it.
yeah,
You
so either
would
way.
Not.
Or I could just dye it a natural color.
Just
Guys, this is stressing me out.
spin.
It's
Pastor
stressing me
Derek.
out.
Spin that wheel.
Ugh. I'm out of here.
Oh! Oh my gosh!
We're not doing this.
Oh man, I thought I was. Yeah, this was just luck that I got all the candy kisses.
I'm leaving. You can't see
wait,
what it is.
Wait. You gotta show the audience.
No.
You gotta show them what you
No,
got.
I'm
Don't
respinning.
change it.
I'm respinning.
Don't change
Dang
it.
I'm respinning. Dang it. I'm respinning.
Are you getting it every time, literally?
Okay, fine. I'll show you. And you can verify if I'm...
Wait, let me see.
It's the
Oh,
right
yeah,
one.
yeah, okay, it's the right one.
How many times did I spin that thing over there? I mean, I didn't get the same one every time, but... Okay,
You were
ready?
trying, but...
I was trying to get an H. Are you ready?
I kind of think you wanted to do this anyways.
Look how long this is getting.
I
Look at
kind of
that.
think you wanted to do this anyways.
It's like 16 inches. Pastor is looking at us now. So I think we have to wrap this up. Okay, guys, that concludes the worst ever edition of. I'm officially
And
gonna name it right now.
we'll show later, right? We'll
No.
show you actually shave your hair.
I'm just gonna leave town. So, all right, guys, let's go cut to the next segment. Okay, so we're talking about this idea of bringing a sacrifice of praise, a praise that is valuable, not something that's just kind of flippant. You see, like in the Bible, like Cain and Abel, right? We had issues there with just a convenient sacrifice. We see that a few times in the Bible where that sacrifice not being accepted, and it's more about a heart issue than it really is about the technicality. So don't worry if you're like, oh, what if I do the wrong thing? So we're gonna dive more into that. But first, as you guys just saw in the game, got a little obligation I have to take care of first. So come on, let's go do that. Okay, so as she, hey babe,
Hi.
you gave me a wet chair.
Sorry.
Ooh, it's wet. I'm not really ready, guys.
I don't know where to start with this much hair.
I know.
Oh my goodness, that is so short. Like bald short.
I know. I promised
What are you
Cody
doing?
a kids video, and I lost a game
You are bald!
in youth. It hurts emotionally. Oh,
Yeah, you are bald. I don't know if you've ever been this bald.
how worship it's not just a type of music, right? And I was having this conversation with Jonathan the other day about how, like, I'm concerned that so many people have kind of relegated worship to just, it's a style of music. Oh yeah, what's your favorite kind of music? Oh, worship music. I like Bethel and Hillsong and having hair. That how worship is so much more than that, and how worship is, it's this, it's like a consecration, right? It's like we've talked about so far about bringing something of value to the Lord. And so even worship in the expression of like singing, how it's not just putting on some music, and how you're actually actively, did you mess it up? Oh wait, you can't mess it up, it's all gone. How it's this act of, I'm really distracted, guys. It's this act of, bringing something of value to the Lord, offering something, and it's not just, clicking play and cleaning your house. Now, and this is the thing Jonathan and I were talking about, like, certain people can do that. I can't. Brandy can. Jonathan can. They're like worshipers in the sense of like they do put on worship music and just have it on throughout the day and are worshiping God. I'm too easily distracted. So when I go into worship, when like as far as like the whole music singing thing, I always go off in a room alone. I turn the lights down. I generally kick off my shoes. We talked in the past episode, I'm a pacer. I walk around, that kind of thing, and I have to get completely alone, and I give up that time. And I know Brandon and Jonathan do too. I'm not saying
He has so much hair.
not back here, I don't. But there's other expressions of worship. So that's why, if you've ever wondered why in church, like we'll say, oh, we're going to continue our worship with a time of offering and giving, that's why. Because there's more ways than just singing or listening to music as worship, and the whole offering thing is one of them, right? You're worshiping God by giving back. You're putting your trust and your faith in God.
Get into your face here. It's gonna be falling in your face.
And then of course there's the whole idea of living a lifestyle of worship, which David comes to mind for that. And with that, guys, I'm gonna go because I have to psychologically prepare for what's about to happen.
Someone told me that you're kinda sweet. I'm not a sucker for that kind of thing. But when
The second part of this whole praise thing is it's supposed to be something of value, which is kind of why, like, with my concern of just it being a flippant thing you just put on and have going. This idea that you're bringing something of value to the Lord. It's like it makes me think of the phrase, "We bring a sacrifice of praise into the house of the Lord." It's an old song we used to sing in church as kids. And then it makes me think of a couple different things, like in this story, the alabaster box, of how it was a costly perfume, and even the bottle that the perfume was brought in was like a nice bottle. We've got like David, how he talks about how, that's Judah, how he talks about how there's the Jonathan was mentioning actually the whole where he talks about how I won't give something as a gift to the Lord that is doesn't have any value, it doesn't cost anything. And there's several times like that in the Bible where someone just won't take a free gift from someone because they're like, no, I will pay for this because I'm going to dedicate this to the Lord, and I won't give him something that's free. We go all the way back to Cain and Abel, the issues there where he was taking like just not having enough value, and it was a heart issue, which we've kind of talked about. And then lastly, like my favorite story of this is King David at this point in his story where he really he's just you have like an craving for something, like, man, I really wish I could have some Taco Bell right now. Or like pastor will frequently be like, man, I really want a good steak, and he'll even talk about it in sermons and whatnot. David was really wanting, it was a hot day, they were out in battle, and he was really wanting some, like, a drink of water from this certain well that just had this awesome refreshing water that he was really desiring. And some of his men, they were basically like superheroes. These guys were crazy, and they decided, what, we want to please our king. And so they actually they fought through enemy lines. They risked their life and had to fight because the area where the pool was, where to get this water was under enemy captivity. So they had to basically like Navy SEAL special ops into there, fight, kill a bunch of bad guys, get a cup of this water, bring it back out, and they bring it to the king, and then they give it to King David, and he goes to drink it, and he's like, wait a minute, this has great value. These men literally risked their life, put their life on the line, and went through extraordinary lengths to get me this cup of water. He's like, I'm not gonna drink this. I'm gonna offer this as a sacrifice to God, and like pours it out, which ironically might have actually been where that whole pour one out for started from, but kind of a different context. And he actually pours it out in honor of, as an offering and sacrifice to the Lord. So this idea that worship is something that is of value. We're bringing value and we're ascribing value and worth to God.
Someone told me that you're kinda sweet. I'm not a sucker for that kind of thing. But when you order lemon ginger tea, that was
So for today's soap devotional, I'm going to use the scripture that Pastor Jared has been talking about today in Youth Factor. That is Luke 7:37 through 38. So it says, in the neighborhood there was an immoral woman of the streets, known to all to be a prostitute. When she heard about Jesus being in Simon's house, she took an exquisite flask made from alabaster, filled it with the most expensive perfume, went right into the home of the Jewish religious leader, and knelt at the feet of Jesus in front of all the guests. Broken and weeping, she covered his feet with the tears that fell from her face. She kept crying and drying his feet with her long hair. Over and over she kissed Jesus' feet. Then she opened her flask and anointed his feet with her costly perfume as an act of worship. There's two things that I really observed about this passage that stood out to me. The first thing is that this woman was a sinner. I love how it says that she was known to all to be a prostitute. So everyone knew this woman. They knew that she was a sinner. We feel like we can't come into Jesus' presence. Like we go to worship, we go to youth, we go to church, and we just feel like I can't go into his presence. But here is a woman who knew that she was a sinner, and that was what drew her to Jesus. And I just love that so much. It says that the oil that she poured on Jesus, it says it was an exquisite flask made from alabaster. So this was, and then it says that it was the most expensive perfume. This wasn't just some kind of, cheap cologne. It was a very expensive, costly perfume. And so I love that because that tells me that what she poured on Jesus, it cost her. It was costly. The first thing is get at his feet. Get at Jesus' feet. This woman knew that Jesus sat at the table. That's what it says. When she knew that Jesus sat at the table, she went to find him. And I love that she didn't let her sin keep her from Jesus' presence. So she knew that Jesus was there. She knew how desperately she needed him. And so she went straight to his presence and she got at his feet. So don't let sin keep you from Jesus' presence. Go to him, confess your sin, repent of your sin, and here's my second point: worship extravagantly. It's important, I think, that we realize that worship is supposed to cost us something. This woman didn't, like I said earlier, she didn't just dump some cheap perfume on Jesus' feet. She did something that was very expensive. It was inconvenient for her. It cost her a lot of money. A lot of people also ridiculed her. They said, of the other gospels that tell the story, they said that people were watching said, why this waste? Why did she waste this perfume? But it wasn't a waste to her because she knew who Jesus was and she knew how desperately she needed him. Remember who Jesus is. Remember who he is. He is so worthy and he is so deserving of all our praise. This woman, she poured everything that she had at his feet. And the story tells us that Jesus said to her, your sins are forgiven. And he says to the other people around, she loved much. I just want to encourage you guys with that. These are the three things that I really see from this passage and how I can apply this to my life, how you can apply it to yours. Get at Jesus' feet and don't let sin keep you from his presence. Just confess that sin, get it out of your life. Worship Jesus extravagantly. Understand that worship is something that is going to cost us, and it isn't something that should be cheap and inconvenient. And remember who Jesus is. Remember that he's worthy of everything that you have. Remember that he's worthy of all that you have. I just want to encourage you too, if you read Revelation, if you read Isaiah, these passages of people who went to heaven and saw Jesus' glory, they tell us that the angels, the elders, were all going, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. And that's the reason they do that is because they are in the presence of Jesus and they see him. So Jesus, I just thank you so much for who you are and for how good you are. I pray that you would help us to remember this when we come to worship you, that we wouldn't let anything keep us from your presence, Lord, but that we would pour out all that we are and that we would pour out all that we have at your feet and hold absolutely nothing back from you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay, so with all that in consideration, what have you been bringing the Lord for praise? Are you just bringing him leftovers? Just whatever you have left and just throw it out there from time to time? Or are you actually taking things like David of value and offering that up to the Lord? That's my challenge for you guys. Be mindful of your praise life. Be mindful of what it is that you are offering the Lord as praise. And that's all. That's all I've got. Now I have to go figure out how to get fitted for a wig.